The elections have come to an end, and many of you may wonder what could made up the policies of the new government. Taxation is one such important policy, and according to the latest released data by the Ministry of Finance, in the first 4 months of this year, the budget deficit expanded by 24%, and this is mainly because the tax revenue has gone down by 20%. And in a situation like this, some of you may think the best course of action is to increase taxes. But let me tell you why I oppose this idea. There are two thoughts here. Firstly, we just heard the first quarter GDP growth was negative 1.6%, and this is a much worse outcome than what we have imagined earlier. So increasing taxes at this stage will only going to kill the economy further. So even if we increase taxes, I'm not sure it will generate any appreciable increase in government revenue. Secondly, we saw the government taking more debt and the central bank printing more money in response to COVID crisis so far this year. And given the global slowdown and slowdown in the domestic economy, they will continue to do so for at least another 6 months. They can afford to do that as long as the inflation remains low. But the moment the inflation picks up, the central bank has to draw the levers to cool the economy down so that they can make sure the inflation does not spiral out of control. This is where maintaining lower tax rates become important. Once inflation starts to pick up, we can increase taxes, and the thing that we have to notice is we can keep the interest rates low. With this, the economy can heal faster and progressively. And once the economy has enough momentum, the central bank can start increasing the interest rates. There is a catch though. It is inevitable that the fiscal deficit may remain large or continue to expand in the medium term if we decide to act in this fashion. But in my opinion, this is a reasonable sacrifice given the sheer enormity and the scale of this current crisis. And in addition to that, the government can afford to run large deficit as the interest rates are quite low now. The thing that we should worry about is the external debt, which we must negotiate with the counterparties to write off or restructure to reduce the external debt burden. Interest rates in the international money markets are at their all-time low, and now is the best time to go for long-term borrowing. But we must work on the risk perception of these international lending institutes. If the new government establishes anti-corruption practices and embrace transparency, I believe we can attract good foreign capital and credit. In addition to that, as a lower middle income country, now Sri Lanka will have access to concessionary loans from the World Bank. If we get this foreign debt problem sorted out, the economy can recover faster, and subsequently the government can raise taxes with much ease.